Well, cheers, and then spill the drink. How about that? Let's try it again. One, two, three. Cheers. Let's not spill the drink this time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Happy Hour. I got to do a little housekeeping there, real quick. Oops. There we go. Yeah, not a very good start. Very good. Gee, you'd think I'd had like 7 or 8 by now, right? You're thinking, boy, Dan's not had happy hour. He's had happy hour since noon. No, 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 no. I have not had happy hour since noon. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to see everybody out there today. It's a Wednesday. I do know that. Wednesday. It turned out to be a decent day here in the Metroplex. It was, what are we in, day number 53, right? 53? That sounds right. Little cruddy this morning, but turned out to be okay. We're rolling around about the high 70s, low 80s right now, but the sun has come out in the last half hour since pull that open sign down as the cats join me as well. Glad you guys are along with a busy day broadcast-wise. Got a great show on the lunch hour show for the T-Bone side of things, talking Little American Association with Tim Costello from Grand Prairie, and then also Roy Morales, all-star catcher, joined us from Puerto Rico. Been a busy show there. This one should be fun too. I borrowed some things from our friend Ryan Hyatt, who got me thinking today, which that's the goal. And it's anybody that's in this business and in sports and talk shows and media, you want to get people talking. That's what good content does. And he got me thinking and talking. So we'll go through that a little bit. As Ryan, I appreciate it. I listened to his show this morning before I did mine, and really some good stuff. Well, also, I had an observation today that on the way to church to drop off some canned goods for a food drive, I have another observation that's very 80s centric with some 2020 twist. I noticed something today, and I've kind of noticed the last couple of days, and I'll see if you guys have noticed it as well. And of course, as always, take you guys along for the ride. We love to have you as we will pull the happy hour sign down. I do have some bells and whistles. How about this bell and whistle? Do you guys want some bells and whistles? Want some oohs and ahs first? Oh, and by the way, today we're also going to revisit the day the tequila bottle shattered. We'll play a little bit of that for you, some video gold for you. But how about some production value? Want some production value? Here we go. Well, how about some production value? Here we go. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Wait for it, folks. Wait for it. I promise you it's going to be great production value. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I swear it's coming. Hold on, hold on. Here we go. Try it again. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah. Look at that. Production value, folks. Look at that. How about that, huh? All right. As we segue into someone waiting on the line, which she's already chimed in, we got to check in. It's been oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Mom's got an interesting shirt on. Let's just see what I make wine disappear. What's your superpower? That is coming to you from Indiana there. Mom, are you okay? Over.
Yes, I'm okay. I thought you'd like that shirt.
I do. I do. I like the fact you make wine disappear, which is
A superpower.
it is a superpower. It's very hard. Believe me, I can't do that. I don't. I'm not a big wine guy, and I can't make it disappear at quite the rate you can. So
I can make
good on
tequila
you.
disappear too.
Yeah. Well, so can my wife. Good on her too, right?
I haven't gotten my wine yet. I look a little wild. That's why the shirt looks better than me. So uh, I'm waiting for my carry out to be delivered by my
What's
daughter-in-law.
what's for dinner from your daughter-in-law tonight?
Well, she's picking up. She had to do some errands. She's picking up Antonio's sausage saccatini and Italian tomato salad.
Hmm.
So that that's my go-to. There are a lot of Italian neighborhoods in this area, and the Italian food is to die for. So, oh well, if since they don't have Tex-Mex, I will go to Italian.
Well, I guess you'll have to make do in a pinch, huh? I mean, is that what you
Well,
got to do?
well, pinch.
All
I'll
right. Well.
I'll get back out of the live because I look scary. But
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
I
you
just
might
I
want
thought
to. I'm thinking maybe a ball cap might work for you,
I
perhaps,
I hate
or
caps.
an old school bonnet, like like they wore back at the turn of the last century. There you
Uh,
go. Sunny's
huh?
on your glasses on top of your head. That works.
Yeah. Next week I get the do done, so I
Where
might
they
up my
opening up
ante.
the they open up the do? next
No,
week? The do shops or what?
well, they're open this week, but it's set. The rules are so strong. They can only do a few at a time. So anyway, but next week is my turn. My
Yes.
Okay, and I know I
All
need it,
right.
so I'll sign off. Bye.
All right. Love you, Mom. Glad to see
I'm
Mom
not.
Cam.
I'm not leaving. I've got to go get a glass of
Okay.
wine so I can live up.
Well,
Okay. Bye.
yeah. Okay. Okay, Mom. There we go. That's Mom Cam. We always check in with Mom Cam when she's available, and today she was available. So, Mom Cam. Then, Mom lives in Elkhart, Indiana. I told you guys this before. About 20 miles from or less from South Bend, an hour and maybe 40 minutes from Chicago, off the Indiana Toll Road, which runs east-west between Ohio and the state of Illinois. So, all good. Waiting for the chat to come online. It will in just a moment. Glad you guys are along to catch you up on the show today. I'm going to visit interesting topic that really got me thinking today about sport. Number two, I'm going to show you Mother's Day video, but it looks a lot like the Zapruder film. But it's the best I could do in a pinch. And what else we're going to do? Oh, we're going to revisit Tequila Gate 2020 back on April 3rd on this very show, a Wednesday. As a matter of fact, we're going to go back and check that out. So, Jeff, Kevin, GM, Ryan, others, Jordan, Kyle from Australia. Good to see you, mate. Mark, brother, Hendrick. Let's see here. David, Elmo, and Nate Sampson. All you folks out. They're going to see you guys. I don't know why the chat is not working. There is the chat line. The direct line to the green room. If you want to get in the green room and join us via the green room, you can do that. But I'm not sure why it is not. But it'll come up in a moment, I hope. So when it does, I'll put those on the screen for you as well. There's your link if you want to join me live. Okay, a couple things to pass along. First off, where should I start? I've decided after some conversation with others, listening to Ryan Hyde's show this morning on 1340, I believe it was this morning. It was a show. I listened to it online a few minutes later. But to see Brother Dean, good to see you in Hoke as well, brother. Good to see you out there. I've decided that of all the sports that the NFL has got it going on, and I think this thing, it's like I've talked about a little bit on the baseball side of things. This whole lockdown thing is going to open up some doors for some things to happen. Now, let me give you some background on this. For the Australian Baseball League, for example, I was on a conference call about this about a week ago. They've been wanting to do some things to kind of change the way the game's played in Australia, but it's been hard to get folks to kind of move that way. But with the way the season may transpire, maybe down the road, you may do some different things. And so now sports, and I use the Australian Baseball League, it could be any league, the American Association, the National League, American League, whatever sport you want to talk about, NBA, NHL, they're all going to be forced to do some things they've never done before. And for the most part, baseball has been one of the most hard to push buttons as far as change. I mean, we still don't have a universal DH. We still finally got interleague play, but that took forever. And since that time, they finally got this clock thing going, but it took a couple of years to get that in. And it's slow to change. The NFL is known for changing almost yearly. What's pass interference this year may not be next year. Replays adjust all the time. They're constantly evolving, and they're a little quicker to change. And I guess my point is that this whole COVID thing is changing how everything's done. How you go to the store, how you visit your doctor, how you worship, where you eat dinner, all that's part of it. And I'm going to bring Kevin on in a moment and see if he can agree with me on this. But I think now all bets are off. The way we go forward is a real opportunity here to really change some things that we've all scratched our head on. Why are things that way? I'll throw this out, for example. I got this from Ryan Hyatt today. It's not exactly but I was thinking the bowl system. The college bowl system has been to line the pockets of a lot of folks in different cities, and you can debate the merit of that. And each bowl means something to each city, or the college football playoff system, which is also not really there to line anybody's pocket, but the folks that run the college playoff system, not the NCAA. You got all these different factions, and hopefully, what he was saying, and this is what he was talking about, that perhaps maybe it could happen down sometime in July, perhaps, you might see 40 of the biggest Division I football programs say, hey, enough. We're going to do things our way because you're telling us we can't play football. We're going to do it anyway. Stop us. So my point is, in baseball, there's an opportunity here. So they do play without fans. So they can try some. What you can do now is try some rules you didn't do before. You can now try the universal DH. Both leagues are going to have it. Now maybe it's realigning the divisions for 1 year, playing more geographically aligned divisions, and make it easier for your fans to watch your games as opposed to traveling, especially in Texas, going to the West Coast every couple of weeks. I mean, there's some things that maybe going forward in baseball, whatever, going forward that haven't gone forward before. So my thought is, I'm going to bring Kevin on and get his thought on that too, because he's joining me now from up in the Twin Cities. Of course, he's free at last. He got out of town last week, but Kevin, how you doing, bud?
Hanging in there, Dan. Hanging in there.
Got you a little bit of a. You got a shiner? So you
Yeah,
look like you're a true Texan today.
My appearance today is brought to you by Shiner Bock, now available at Hy-Vee Wine Spirits in Fairville, Minnesota. It's good to be king.
Yeah, it's good to be king and good to be drinking a Texas beverage there too. I was thinking, did you hear? I don't know if you heard what I said, but and I got this a little bit from my friend Ryan, who was talking more in general about college football. But I'm going to broaden the scope a bit. That when we do start playing games again, let's say it's whatever. Let's just use baseball, and they got to have a DH or a shorter season. I imagine that the game's probably going to be pretty daggum good, regardless of how many games we play. And I think the opportunity is there now for baseball, whatever sport, to change some things under the veil of COVID-19 and maybe come out of this thing in the years down the road, better games in the long run. What do you think about that? Am I crazy? I am crazy, but
I don't think so. If you're going to experiment with something, let's do it in a season like this. The season's going to have a big asterisk behind it anyway. So
right.
Why not throw some crap against the wall and see if it sticks?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, and I was thinking that because again, I had a conversation with some Australian baseball folks, and may have to start a little later, and then they wanted to, and maybe play more games on nights. Just different things that they weren't, less double headers, whatever. But the opportunity, and we talked about this a little bit on the T-Bone show 2 weeks ago. It's last week when St. Paul put out their St. Paul Saints put their guide out for social distancing online, which was great, by the way. There's that's for this season, but other things, and I think too, one thing I think people haven't thought about it from the minor league standpoint. Let's say the American Association does play baseball, Kevin. They may be the only game in the country that has fans. I mean, that's a plus there too.
Well, don't count St. Paul in yet, because our dictator up here is yet again dragging his feet on opening up the state.
Yeah, hold on. Ryan says Kevin's had his epic. That's kind of like, Ryan, when I go to Australia, that's what all the Australians think I look like when I'm at home on my couch, right there with the hat and the shiner. And he's very, very stereotypical what they think I look like. But yes, it's very spot on. Very good, very good. Yeah, so well, it's a free place. You got out of town last weekend, right? You get down to I won't say the Carolinas, the Dakotas. You over to Dakotas?
Yeah, we hopped in the car and drove out to Sioux Falls. My wife needed to get her hair done, and it was a perfect opportunity since the dictator will not let salons open here. She made an appointment, rented a hotel room, and headed on out to Sioux Falls.
How were things in Sioux Falls? Was it okay?
Well, it was weird. I dropped her off at the salon because you had to wait in your car, and then when they're ready to take you, then you could go inside. As I'm sitting out there in the car, I see two other cars with Minnesota plates pull up. So we weren't the only ones with that idea.
Everybody else is in that same boat.
Right. So then me and my stepson went to the Empire Mall there, which, as you might know, on a Saturday is just rocking. The place is just packed. But no, it was open, but it was about 1/5 of the normal people you'd see there, and about only half the business.
Yeah, the mall there would be rocking on a Saturday. There's no doubt. There's, along with Fargo. Fargo is also a place that up north of there would be rocking on a Saturday at the mall too. That I can't remember the mall, the Great Acres Mall or Great Wild Acres or something like that. But it's you go in those malls in that part of the country on a Saturday because everybody, the whole state's there. It's like a state fair on a Saturday.
Yeah, good way to put it. But I don't know if it's because it was kind of a spur of the moment announcement. They just opened everything on Friday.
Oh, okay.
What was interesting was we couldn't go to Texas Roadhouse because they were still working on making whatever adjustments they had. So we were sitting in Keene, which was just south of Sioux Falls,
Right.
and with friends' recommendations, we wound up at a steakhouse and tea that was really nice. And we got to talking to our waitress, and she said they never had to close there. In South Dakota, it was up to each individual city as to whether you wanted to stay open or not. And in tea, they stayed open. It was limited seating for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
even if there was like only every other table was open. But tell you what, after being, living in communist Minnesota, being up there, being able to sit down and have a nice hot dinner, we didn't have to have it in a styrofoam box and take it home. You could sit there, enjoy dinner, not have to worry about cleaning up. We just sat there afterwards. We didn't want to leave. It was like, something like this just makes you take things you take your freedom for granted until it's taken away from you, like Dictator Wallace has done in Minnesota.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's weird how, I mean, even for us, going out and getting yogurt, frozen yogurt on Saturday night was like the coolest thing ever. 2 weeks in a row, we've been like, "Oh, this is great, man! We're gonna get out of the house." It's crazy like that. Have you had to see the phenomenon too? Since I got you on, I've noticed this phenomenon. Now, as an '80s guy, I recall in my car I had my tassel from graduation hanging on my rearview mirror. I don't know if that used to be a thing. I don't think people still do that, but now people are doing the two things. A, they're hanging their COVID mask on the rearview mirror. Have you seen that? That's the first thing I noticed today. People are driving around with their COVID mask. Have you guys had that up there? Are people doing that?
I haven't noticed, but the Dictator Wallace, so
So probably not. No. The other thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you caught, I catch myself doing this. This morning I dropped off a bag of goodies or goods to the church, and it's probably 10 minutes up there, and I got to go in some pretty busy streets. But I catch myself, usually you're sitting at the light, you're kind of tapping the wheel, and you might look a little bit, but I'm catching myself now checking out to make sure folks have got their mask either on or around their neck, because a lot of folks are driving with them. And my wife and I yesterday were shopping for a TV. We had them around our neck. We weren't wearing them in the car, but people are checking now. And it's funny because all of a sudden, the first thing, we're walking to Target yesterday, and I'm looking at everybody's face, make sure and they're all looking at me. I never got so much attention. We're all looking at each other now to see if we have a mask on. Hey, he's not wearing a mask, folks. This guy, right? And when you see someone not wearing it, it gets your attention. You having the same problem with that as I am?
well, I'm the one that's not wearing one, so you're not being a quarantine Karen, are you?
No, I think it's hilarious how all of a sudden I'm people are just normally you go about your business on a Tuesday afternoon in Target, you go about your business and no one's going to even bug you and no one's going to give you the up and down look, but everybody's getting the and if you don't have one on, there was a couple that didn't have one on, and everyone that was standing within, I don't know, 20 feet were all just getting the stink eye. And they're looking at me this morning at the stoplight. There was people on both sides of me with their mask on. I didn't have one on. And they're like give me the double take, like, what's wrong with this guy? He doesn't have a mask. That's my concern. We're starting to be really mask. I don't know what the word for it is. Mask Gestapos. Well, they might
Well,
be good up in Minnesota.
we were at a gas station right before we left Minnesota on Saturday. You see a woman leave Casey's. She gets into her truck. She had energy drinks and cigarettes.
Her priorities.
And the first
I
thing she
mean,
does after getting back in her truck is get the hand sanitizer out. She's worried about her before having cigarettes and energy drinks.
forget the nicotine and whatever else is in the energy drink. Let's just get the hand sanitizer out. Make sure we're clean hands, right?
Right. If you're going to drop dead, at least drop dead with clean hands.
Well, you going to escape this week again or not?
Well, I got tomorrow off. My goal tomorrow is to call around to dentists in Iowa to try to get in for a cleaning because can't do that here in USSMNR. So I'm sure it's a pretty hefty nap and squeeze in there at some point. So
Oh no! Oh no! Well, are you? Maybe I'm crazy as I see. What is up, Spider? How you doing, mate? Good to see you over there in Australia, Lori and Ellen. And uh, am I reaching for things this afternoon on my show on the baseball side of things? Because I guess I don't know a lot of folks here don't want to talk about baseball. I'm going to get out of that in a moment. But am I reaching for things? Being excited that Major League Baseball may play with no fans? Am I crazy? Is there something wrong with? Am I just peeing in the wind, so to speak?
well, I guess everybody's got their thing. For me, I'm really on that. As involved as you and I are both with the American Association, my interest in Major League Baseball has waned as it is. And now with this, with no fans, with different potential rules coming into place, to me, I'm not all that excited myself for it. I'm more concerned about the American Association getting started and actually getting out to the ballpark and, of course, interacting with all my friends throughout the league.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
it's eye fodder. It's something different to watch on TV. You can only watch so many reruns of The Office before you start memorizing those teams' lines. So,
Right.
yeah, it'll be a
Yeah.
little variety. And if the NHL gets their stuff going, I mean, it could be interesting stay-at-home TV. But yeah, to me, like I said, I think the whole MLB season is going to have a giant asterisk by it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, if I was them, what I would do, I would trick everything up. Nothing's off the table if I'm MLB. I'm figuring, okay, here's my chance to get everybody back who bolted the last 30 or 40 years. Here's my chance. I'm going to trick it up. Whatever you could dream up. Whatever crazy thing you want to dream up, I'd try it. See if it sticks against the wall. What's the worst thing can happen? No one show up. I mean, they're not going to show up anyway because there's not going to be anybody there. So trick it up. Have some fun with it. That's what I would do. But again, that's why I'm not commissioner of Major League Baseball. Makes too much sense.
it's going to be, you can have like 81 games worth of market research and find out if
Sure.
fans at home are liking the rules or not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. What's for dinner tonight?
Up here, actually, my wife is making ribs.
Okay. The flight leaves in
What's for dinner?
the ribs.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, we're on our way. My wife and I are having air spaghetti. I'll explain that in a minute. But it's delicious spaghetti with turkey meat.
But
I
the
just
big,
smile.
Can they see me hitting you from outside the screen?
the
What's
big
that?
dinner will be on Memorial Day weekend, though.
What was that?
The big meal will be on Memorial Day weekend on Saturday night, as I am. If you may have got the invite for, I am having a tailgate party at my house on Memorial Day Saturday because that would have been the first day that I would have tailgated at CHS Field. So I've invited people to
Right.
come over. Law be damned. If they want to lock me up for having a tailgate party at my house, then I guess that's the sword I'm dying on.
Green onion brats be damned, right? I'm going to do it anyway.
Maybe I'll be to bribe the cops with if they show up.
If I was a cop, that'd be trouble. I'd be like, "What, sir? I don't take bribes, but I take green onion brats. That's for sure. I'd take that in a heartbeat. Heartbeat, sir. Heartbeat. They're good. They're good. All righty. Well, I appreciate you joining me, sir, and glad to see you. And you look good. You're looking good, bud. Looking good, Kevin.
I might have to come down and see you guys. Looks like you guys got freedom all over the place. So
Maybe we
maybe
can walk out We can walk out our backyard actually out in our street. It's a crazy thing. It's free Texas.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, mate.
I'll let you get going, and
all right. Cheers to you, mate.
We'll do this
Good
again.
to see you. Yes, we will. Good to see you. Kevin from up in the Twin Cities there joining us. It's about time to bring the wife on as well. Thanks, Kevo. Appreciate it, bud. And let's bring the slide over here. And I haven't even, I'm kind of playing behind here, but let me move this over and take these off.
Can you scooch over a little
Hold
more?
on just a second. But can you just... Okay, I was gonna I actually had some things to play, but I want to see if I can do this here. Let's just see here. I mentioned we had a special surprise on Mother's Day, so I'm gonna actually pull. Oops, easy. I'm gonna pull this up here and see if it will actually play for us. And let me kind of back it up just a tad here. Let's try it. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out. I'm gonna actually put us off the screen here. Go ahead and play this. It's not the best quality, but you'll see what happened on Sunday here at our house, Sunday afternoon, and my wife joins us and look at her comments and watching the video. If you guys can hear it, but
They don't really say anything to
you can hear it.
Yeah. Could you hear it?
A lot of oh my goshes there. A lot of oh my goshes. You guys heard that? I don't think I can. I think that's pretty much that's pretty much the gist of it right there. But that was Mother's Day from here at the house, and actually sitting right here in this same chair. And I had my back turned, but we talked about it on Monday. But my wife was very surprised. But I want to show you the video. That's not the best. It was from a cell phone, so it's not the highest quality, but you guys got the gist of it, so all good.
That was a great day, and it was a great surprise.
It was very good.
Totally surprised me.
Okay, I was talking earlier a couple of things. One, the new phenomenon I've noticed driving around when I drove to church this morning. The two things I've noticed: A, the mask hanging from the rearview mirror.
Yep.
It's kind of like the new used to be the tassel back in the 80s. We had but now it's the mask. And also the mask shaming. Did you yesterday in Target?
Yeah, those two kids.
We went to
3 Targets.
3 different Targets to look for a TV yesterday. Finally found the one.
Because you have to make an appointment at Best Buy 2 days in advance.
By the way, Best Buy.
Sorry.
Great idea, Best Buy, to social distance, but which you didn't take into account for.
You lost their business.
That walk-up customer who was going to walk in yesterday.
Buy a TV.
We were going to walk in and buy a TV. We already picked out we really wanted to buy one to look at them. We're going to walk out with a TV, but because we didn't have an appointment, you lost yourself X amount of dollars of revenue. Now, granted, I understand why people are making appointments, and I understand the whole thing. We would have easily waited
20 minutes, maybe even an hour.
Yeah, we would have waited a little while if you said, hey, we'll wait a few minutes until we can let you in. All good.
Yeah.
Instead, we drove around Dallas, 3 different Targets, finally found the one we would have bought there at Best Buy, but again,
so silly.
And so some young man at Target really busted his butt, went and found one.
No, he was great.
Yeah, he went and found one in the stock there, and we wound up buying from them. Again, I dropped the ball for Best Buy. But what I was going to say was, I noticed the mask shaming thing is kind of a big thing, and I don't care one way or the other really. What I don't want to have happen is what happened to us on the way to Belize that Saturday back in March when that woman was wheezing and coughing, sneezing on everybody as she's walking through the airport.
Gross.
I don't want that even when no one's got COVID. I mean, I don't want that next to me on a plane. I don't want that. I want people to cover their mouth anyway.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm not so sure I'm on board with this whole mask shaming because there was this young couple, probably in their mid-20s, who weren't wearing a mask. And you thought they were carrying a loaded gun to the store yesterday. Sure. I mean, people were like, walking into each other trying to look at these people who don't have a mask on.
God, oh, my God.
And you can be whispering, and of course people are checking you out. Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You've got a mask on. You're okay. And then they start looking at your mask. That if it, I'm actually adjusting mine to make sure it fits okay, so it's not coming off sideways or whatever. I want to make sure that the mask is properly worked. So mask shaming is a thing. I think it's a thing. What do you think?
Yeah, and now it's not just mask shaming. Oh, thank God that turned off. But everybody's sort of looking to see, does somebody have like a cool mask on? Like, is it more just one of those disposable ones, or we have some that have been made?
The guy who sold us the TV was wearing a St. Louis Cardinals baseball mask, which is kind of cool. I meant to say.
Yeah, I mean, so there's those that are buying cute masks. I ordered some solid color masks, like a black one, a khaki one, and a denim one to sort of coordinate with outfits, knowing full well that Caroline would want the black one. I ordered some of those. Then I ordered you a Texas Ranger one and a Dallas Cowboys one, but of course they haven't. I think they've shipped, but they're not here yet. It's been taking forever.
You can't get them from China, so.
Well, they're not from China. That's why they're taking forever, because they actually have to make them.
Oh, okay.
From a California company. I think it was something I found on, I don't know, maybe Etsy or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, like, do you have a cute mask now?
Did you see the company that went last night in the news here, Channel 8, the ABC affiliate in Dallas, ran a thing on sports? There's a company, and the name escapes me, but they make footballs.
The football people.
They make they're like one of the leading manufacturers of footballs in the country. They make them for all the big Power One programs. And what they've done is basically the pattern for the side, the football panels for each side of the, you ever seen a normal football is not actually one piece of leather. It's sections of leather. And those patterns make almost a perfect pattern for a mask. So they're actually making masks, retooling masks, and doing that instead of making footballs. They're doing that. So,
which kind of makes me sad.
Why does that make you sad?
Because that just means we don't need footballs.
Well, maybe they made enough for the year. I mean, they're just switching over to something. I mean, it's not that during World War II, and some of the major manufacturers, GM for example, we're making different vehicles for the war effort. I mean, that wasn't a totally uncommon thing. But yes, this is not really it's not a war against the country, but it's a war of some sort. You have people on the front lines risking their lives. So for all that being said and done, the other thing today I mentioned too, and I'll ask my wife this, and this came from Ryan Hyatt's show out in Lubbock today, and it's basically his subject matter. And I'll give you the background. I told this earlier that the NFL's got it easy. They got one commissioner and 32 owners. Now, NCAA football, for example, has got the NCAA, individual universities, the conferences. Then you've also got the BC, the bowls, the playoff system, and those are all 5 different groups of people that all going to be happy. And now Major League Baseball is kind of running the same thing. You've got the owners, the players, the fans who they don't have to worry about because they're not going to be in the games. But that's 2 entities. But you got college football, and it started me thinking a little bit. Because what the scenario was he was put forth was that perhaps 40 or 50 of the top Division I football programs might all jump into and say, you know what, we're going to play football regardless of what the Big 12 tells us or the Pac-12 or whoever.
Conferences or
something. We're just going to go ahead and play, and because you're telling us we can't play, we're going to play whoever we want to play and stop us.
Yeah.
Stop us from making money and generating resume.
Okay with that. Be fun.
Well, and that's my point is I got and I started thinking in baseball terms.
Be fun.
I don't think and I think we're all in that same boat for retail.
Yeah, who cares?
I mean, it's like I heard Josh Buchholz say this today, the executive director of the American Association. A few years ago in Wichita, they had gone to a paperless, cashless system for their concessions and merchandise in their ballpark. It was a few years too early, and that people weren't quite ready for it. But now, we don't.
I left yesterday without my purse.
Right. I mean, people now can.
He was like, "Do you need a wallet?" I'm like,
but I mean, the point is that you can do cashless now everything, and I guess the thing is that thought in Wichita was maybe 6 or 7 years too early, but now I see a world in retail and
use your phone,
going to movies, going to sporting events where
Apple Pay.
You won't have to worry about reaching in your pocket and exchanging money with anybody. You're gonna be all good and all fine and dandy, and be able to just go, paperless. And I think when I said a moment ago to Kevin, if I'm Major League Baseball, I'm using baseball. That's what I do for a living. I would say, you know what? All bets are off. Everything we've done before, it doesn't matter because this year it matters. But in this current situation we're all in, everyone's life's going to change. How you go to church, how you bank, everything. How you fly. As a traveler, as a frequent traveler, it's going to change the way I go about my business as a traveler. And all that being said, why does it just say, hey, you know what? I want to get the young folks and the women back to baseball. I'm using that as an example. It could be any group of people. I'm gonna trick it up and try some things because on this whole new way things are being done, everything's gonna be
I
different.
like what Kevin said. Throw
Yeah.
something on the wall and
Yeah,
see it
just see what it sticks. And I see no problem with that. And I think that's the one thing that you're going to see going forward. And that all came from just listening to Ryan this morning that I thought, why not? I mean, and I think you're going to see a lot of things, not just in sport, I'm using sports, but movies. I mean, there's going to be some ideas come out of this, and some folks will say, you know what? I always want to do that, and now why didn't I think of that?
Well, Ryan sort of made a crack at my joke about, and it wasn't a joke. I was making a comment that I heard the XFL was for sale, and he sort of chuckled that somebody bought it for $309 or something like that. But I get that Lubbock didn't necessarily have that. It was catching on here in Dallas, and so to me, I think that those kinds of venues, because I don't think the XFL or an entity like the XFL has the same kind of constraints that some of those bigger, more well-established organizations have. So this would probably be a good time for somebody to maybe dive right in, and because people so want to go watch sports. We were talking about the MLB, playing without fans. If the American Association opens up in July, I think there's going to be people wanting to go because they want to get out and go see sports. I don't care if it's, minor league baseball or XFL, which is, just under the NFL. People want to see it. People want to have somewhere to go. Even if you're, but be socially responsible in terms of your distancing and by all means, wear a cool looking mask. But
good to see Bobby out there, Brother Sam, and Kevin saying, Kenny as well. Kevin saying that towns up here are starting to flagrantly ignore Dictator Walt's orders to stay closed. Hope these business owners don't end up in the gulag. Well, this time of year,
Governor Abbott will come get him out.
Yeah.
Our governor will rescue him.
Unlike that botched thing down in Venezuela, we'll actually send. See, that's another thing. By the way, if U.S. is going to invade someplace, they wouldn't. That's not going to happen. By the way, what happened last week, and I'm not going to get into that. But what we'll do is we'll send the Army of Texas up there. We'll come up there and liberate Minnesota.
Send our Rangers.
Yeah, we'll send the Texas Rangers up there, and not the baseball team. And they will. Although we can send the baseball team there, they'd probably be.
Well, I think the other Texas Rangers are probably a little more successful.
Yes, they probably are.
That's sad.
But yes, we could go up there and help the little mercenary mission up there to help out those folks. But
bail out the people in the gulag.
But the good news is, if you're going to be in a gulag in Minnesota, better in the summer than the winter. Because
why? I would want to be in the winter where you're warm.
Are you kidding me? It's like 18 feet of snow.
Yeah, so be out and about.
It's so cold up there at the subway, the mass transit stops.
But you're
in the Twin Cities
in the gulag,
and you're standing outside waiting for a train. They've got these space heaters over your head.
But all the more reason.
The snow is stacked up as tall as your house.
But if you're inside, you're not going to feel it.
You think you're going to be inside some comfortable, like the Intercontinental Hotel in downtown St. Paul?
And these days, yeah.
No, you're going to be in a plywood room.
No, don't they have cable and everything that you could possibly need in
this is not Club Fed. This is going to be gulag.
Does it?
It's going to be a real Stalinist system.
Isn't like Emerald sort of isn't
no.
chef of some of these
you're going to
facilities?
This is not Club Fed. There'll be better treatment by federal prisoners than what you're going to get in that. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, good. So anyway, opportunity is there, and it's like I said before too to folks in the T-Bone side of things. The opportunity is there for a lot of really exciting things, being the only game in town. It's like I've told Baghdad Bob, inside joke from last season, but Baghdad Bob would be the governor of Minnesota. That actually is a character from the Gulf War. You guys remember Baghdad Bob, who was standing outside a building in Baghdad as the U.S. is pummeling Baghdad with all kinds of bombs. What like, all's good here. We're all fine. Nothing to see, folks. We're all doing a good thing. We're all good. And that's kind of what is going on up there. But very inside joke from last baseball season with the T-Bones, by the way, but all good. Couple can there. But anyway, the thing is that I've noticed that everything's changing a little bit. Ryan asked, how is Kevin not a Texan? He's trying. He's trying his hardest. I mean, he's trying.
Yeah, the
believe me.
Shinerbach and the hat. Like,
Shinerbach and the hat.
Right,
It's very, like I said, very much like the
you
Australians.
just need some real barbecue, and he'll be 3/4 of the way there.
And boy, I'm telling you, Ryan, these brats, he
Yeah, the green onion brats are the bomb.
he gets them from a Hy-Vee up there in the Twin Cities. You can get them in Kansas City too, but the green onion brat may be the best brat in the history of the brats.
It's really good.
And on the brat pecking order, it's
up there.
Yeah, it's the consensus All-American on the brat pecking order. But anyway, yeah. So everything's. If I was, no matter what business you're in, I mean, I'd trick it up. Why not? What's the worst thing that can happen if you're already having slow stuff going anyway? Trick it up and see what sticks. And this is a great chance to press reset if that's what you're going to do. I mean, I'm trying to find the best case scenario here, and it's something I believe I'm misquoting.
Isn't that what they're doing in the government? They're just like throwing down all these rules, and they're going to see what sticks.
Not exactly, but something that the chairman of Qantas said, and his name escapes me. It's
Not of sangria.
Oh gosh.
The Von Erichs. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I can't remember this guy. Joyce's last name, and I believe he said, talking about Qantas, the national airline in Australia, that that now there's a chance to really come out of this thing for them as a business in a different positive light by making some adjustments to. I mean, it's an opportunity for success that maybe right now doesn't look like success because they're hemorrhaging millions and millions of dollars a day.
That's a very healthy, optimistic attitude.
Well, I think that's what you have to have.
It's hard for people to have that attitude when what they see around them right now is gloom and doom. But I appreciate that.
Well, and I've had one of my gentlemen from my church group was saying, we're gonna come out of this thing with different things we do in a good way as far as spreading the word and that kind of thing. So, I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities. I guess that's how you look at it. I mean, there's good and bad of it. It's like I always say, there's a lot of bad about social media. There's also some good things like this. So, I mean, it's all relative.
Is this good social media?
Yeah, I think so. This is sort of okay. So, let me ask you, wife, are you shaming folks at the stoplight of their mask? Or
not at the stoplight.
Well, first off, here's the question. Mask or no mask in the car? Do you have to wear a mask? Can you have it around your neck?
Yes.
On your head?
No, but who's your breath is your breath.
So,
no.
But people are driving with their mask on.
Because they're stupid.
Why would you do that?
Because you're stupid. Yeah, you don't need a mask in the car unless it's difficult to put on and you don't want to have to stop and put it on before you see someone. But no, I don't shame people in the car that don't have the mask on. But I tell you, there were those two teenage boys in Target number 3.
Was that 3? Yeah.
Target number 3. They walk around t-shirts, and then one of them
was doing this. Yes, he was like, "Wait, I know people are looking at me. I better do this," because he walked right by us.
Yeah,
and a mom and her 2 kids, and another mom and her kid, and he's like, "I better do this." And we were in.
That's better than nothing. But come on, people, it's not that hard. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Just put it on.
That Target was the one in Highland Park. It's like the swankiest part of Dallas County. And those boys probably I don't know, they probably live in that neighborhood, I would think. And you'd think that they might have had access to masks. It's one thing if you don't have access to masks, but surely they could have tied a sock around their neck or something. But I was amazed, and people were just like, everybody's just looking at him.
Looking at him like, what are you doing out and about without a mask?
When we first got from Belize back on March 22nd, we went to the grocery store the next day. And at that time, Dallas County you didn't have to wear a mask. And so we were we were in Tom Thumb, and some folk Tom Thumb is a local grocery store. We were in the store, supermarket, whatever, shops, and we were in there, and I would say a third of people had masks on. We were more worried about because at that time they'd already put down the lines in the checkout lines, the social distance lines. So I was more worried about that. I'm more worried about that than I'm worried about, whether or not I'm sporting my mask or not. But boy, I tell you,
if it will even help eliminate one person from getting sick, do it.
Yeah. Well, again, I just
Commando.
I love that.
That's
I
funny.
love that. Well, all good. I was gonna play. I'll say this for Friday though. I had pulled up the video of of the tequila fest, but we
Oh,
already
you
had
can
it.
do that.
Well, but it's gonna take a little while.
Oh,
I mean, you guys. I guess I can play it. You know, I mean, I can save it for Friday. Probably save it for Friday.
save it Friday. I'll spill something else.
Yeah, save it for Friday. I actually have the video. Pull the video of GM, and you don't really you hear it.
It's
And
terrible.
you hear the S word.
You hear me? My expletive.
You don't really see it. You hear it, and I do show it a bit later. But yeah,
Did
we'll,
my halo get tilted just
yeah,
a little bit? Just a little bit.
little fractured there, a little fractured, but yeah. Did you see,
And
did
for
you see,
the record,
oops.
just in terms of my fractured halo, when we first started dating, he said that he appreciated that I was a bit salty.
See that
Yeah, I know. I like that good production quality.
production value? Look at this. Look at this photo. Look at me trying.
Yeah, look at you. Look at that slide across the screen.
Look at me trying. Look at me trying.
That's
Boy,
pretty
that.
cool. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I did it either. If you asked me to do it right now up there, I'd be.
Oh, that's another thing we could talk about. The other test that we failed terribly yesterday. We went because we bought this TV and we were trying to use the bracket because it's a wall mounted TV. Because we were using the bracket from our other TV to put this TV up, but it had different size screws. So in the manual, it tells you what size screws to go buy. So we go to Lowe's all masked up and ready to judge those who aren't wearing masks. Go into a Lowe's, go down the hardware aisle, and we both look at each other like, what the bleep are we doing?
Who's been to the hardware store? That doesn't exist anymore. The old school hardware store, unfortunately. But who's been to the local Lowe's or Home Depot lately?
That screw aisle is huge.
And it's
I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. What are these numbers? And it had all these numbers in these categories.
There's probably, if you guys haven't been in a while, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about. There's probably
millions,
nothing short of 1,000
more than that
different varieties of screws and bolts and what have you.
And so in the manual, it had a specific kind. And so we both looked at each other. He was like, if this is a test, I would fail it. I'm like, I'm failing it too, dude.
I mean, there's nowhere in the world. And I wasn't alone because other people there got all in the same boat.
It's like we all had these, just saucers for eyeballs. Like, what on earth?
So we had to press the little help button, and a lovely woman came.
Yeah, she came and was like, oh, this is a metric. And this is, we're like, okay. So she took us right to the place. And there were two. The measurement was like between 20 and 22, and they had a 20 and they had a 25. And I'm like, oh, let's not get the 25 because that'll be too long. Of course, we come home with the 20s, and what do I end up doing? I have it to turn right back around and go back to Lowe's because it was too short.
Yes, too
so
short.
So if anybody needs any screws that are metric 8 with length of 20, I gotcha.
Do you remember? Well, you remember this too. I mean, you mentioned metric. Do you remember the metric fail in this country?
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't divide things by 10. That's way too hard.
Total, what was that, 80?
And I think the other part of that is we just don't want to be Canadian or British. Like, we're our own thing. I don't care if it's harder to do.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind being Australian, so that's a whole there. But that's a better quality. Or New Zealand, Kiwi or Aussie would be great.
They do metric. No, the best part about that is driving, and you've talked about driving in Australia. I'm a way better driver in Australia than he is.
Wait, Craig's a Canadian, and I love that guy, by the way. So
that's fine. You can have your country. Anyway. I'm kidding. Hey, we're Texan. We're our own place anyway, right?
Continue.
So in Australia, driving with his mom, I'm, driving on the left-hand side, and his, the version of the map, says, you're going to turn away in about 300 kilometers in this beautiful Australian accent. And first of all, I'm like, what does turn away mean? And how far is 400 meters? I don't even know. And then all of a sudden I keep thinking, wait a minute, I ran track. I kind of know how long 400 meters is or 800 meters. That's 2 times around a track. So I finally figured out about how long it was going to be until I had to quote turn away. And turn away was a U-turn. And I was like, that's the silliest thing to call it ever.
Well, but, but there's certain, I mean, I've been there enough that I understand.
Your mother and I were laughing so hard because we had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, the roundabouts are the confused. There's a lot of roundabouts in Perth. There are quite a few in Australia in general, but in Western Australia, there's quite a few roundabouts.
We just drove in and closed our eyes and hoped we didn't hit anything.
just go at it. Yeah, but yeah, we had experiment. And I see Bob out there. Good to see you, and also Kaylin, Jim, and also Tammy. Good to see you guys. You folks in the '80s know this. I don't know what year it was. I want to say around 1980. The Great American Experiment, known as the metric system, which totally failed. We were all, and by that time, by the time that came out for us, 7th grade or so,
We're like, why would we want to change it?
we'd already memorized the inches and feet and all that.
Pints and liters.
So now we've got this.
Pints and quarts.
I think it have maybe 2 years in the school we were learning, and then all of a sudden,
Like, no, we're out.
by the time I was
7th grade, we had decided that was
by the
too
time I
hard
was a
for us.
freshman,
That was too hard.
I mean, there was no one ever taught me metric anything. Now, when I went now going overseas, and I told the story last week about the whole pounds to kilos routine that I went through in Australia my first year in 2012, when I had no idea. And I was walking to the meat aisle, and I saw, oh my gosh, ham and shrimp, and I mean, I'd go through the deli, or even just I wanted shrimp, but I was like, they're like $30. And I realized that it wasn't $30. It was kilos to pounds, and it was 0.54 pounds to a kilo. And once I learned that, I finally was able to expand
like, I can afford
my meal, because for a while there, I ate nothing but packaged luncheon meat. But I mean, for a while, but finally learned it.
I honestly think that the metric system, because people associated it with Carter, that it didn't go over well.
My mother calls a U-turn a wowie. I don't know why. I like that. Wow. I like that.
Wowie.
That's good. It's good to see you, mate, up there in Indiana. But
That's
good to
a
see
good.
you, Holly,
I
as
like
well.
that. I like the idea of a
very,
wowie.
very good. A wowie. But yes.
That would be a fun discussion. What other things could you call a wowie?
Well, yeah. There's it's kind of like that. Well, there was this episode of Better Call Saul. That's what we're into now, and it was the
He's not Saul yet.
4th episode, and he starts to kind of get a few clients. He does the whole bit where he rescues. If you've seen it, if you haven't, I'm not telling you too much yet. Rescues the guy at the billboard, whatever, and he gets some more clients or these calls, and he goes to this guy who's got this invention. And it's this toilet.
It's
this toilet that talks for like little kids to help them get through their potty training. But what this guy didn't understand was the connotation of the whole comments. When you started hearing these comments sitting on the can, you're thinking, okay, but if you just heard them, you'd be going like, oh, that's not something little kids should be hearing. No. So all good. But
it's pretty funny.
Kevin says liquor is measured with the liter system total 180 from dealing with the gallons 20 blood. Yes, it is. It is that way.
We will figure out metrics if liquor's involved. That's where we won't buy gas and liters. But if we want a 2-liter thing of vodka, we're in.
And that's another thing. Getting petrol in Australia was always a challenge. Not a challenge, but I mean, it's just like it is. Here's the deal. I love that place, and everything in Australia is very much like America to a certain degree. But there's some barriers there, and one is if you don't know the system, and that can be one of them. Because I'm thinking, okay, to fill up my car, it's going to cost around $30, let's say, right? Well, over there, you start to look at the conversion to kilos to dollar to Aussie dollar,
gas is more expensive.
And it's a little more expensive anyway. And you start to really in your head not even know, and so I just finally said, you know what, enough of it. I'll just fill it up, be done with it. And that's when I started, because I used to try to judge it based on my American experience, and it was my brain would just be fried. So liter, 4.7 liter, 1.7 liter. It's called a mag. I have no idea. I don't know why either. Don't know why.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. But the liters and all that. It just failed here. But although again, I've gotten better, and in the Celsius thing, I'm able to tell you within reason what a good temperature is for a while.
I just remember Celsius to Fahrenheit being a math problem.
Yeah,
and so I have PTSD from word problems. So I'm not gonna no.
It is a math problem to a certain degree.
There's probably an app for that. Does anybody really need the math?
I do. It's on my phone.
Yeah, you don't need to be able to do the math.
Well, we've gone just about an hour here, and I did save you guys. I will play on Friday. I'll play Friday the tequila incident. I'm working on an open, and the reason I pulled that was I'm trying to find an open to do a nice, cool open for the show.
Stupid move by your wife.
But the only problem is most of the show is the show, except for one shot of the dog taking a whatever in the neighbor's yard. We had a dog cam in a while. There's not been a lot of we can do with it, but I'm trying to find something to kind of piece together a good open for the show.
Bloopers would be good.
Yeah, maybe it's bloopers. Maybe it's just knucklehead things I say. It's not like I said, like you can.
Well, that
you
could
know,
be a segment. Knuckleheaded things Danny
well, there
says.
you go. Well, like for example, this is my open for the T-Bone show
Oh, it's
here.
good. Yeah, play
And see,
that.
I got this is something you can work with right here. I mean, just play this here.
This is good.
Well, it's not great. It
It's
works.
good. Looks good. We need a cool intro.
Yeah, we need a cool intro like that, and see, we can do
A
cool.
walk-up song.
We can do a cool. Well, yeah, I can do walk-up songs, I guess. It'd be kind of cool. So we do have, you know.
We should do a walk-up song for your mom.
I mean,
A walk-up song for Kevin, for our regulars.
Well, yeah, but I did put this together to segue between segments, but now you're on the screen. But I did put this together today to do this segue between segments. Take a second for it to load, but it's going to load here. But I had it all ready to go to do between segments today. There we go. I don't know why it's freezing up. There we go. I was going to do that to go between segments. That's my original plan. But
that's good.
you know, so all good. But again,
So whatever.
the idea was I was pulling the video of the whole tequila thing, but I realized that all you really hear is the sound of the tequila bottle breaking.
and me shouting in it, the S word.
Well, you.
Yeah.
You. So,
But I learned it from him, so.
well, I mean, you're also the woman that we pull out of, forget it. I'll say pull out of church.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
Kevin says this walk-up song will be back on the USSR as theme song.
That's a good one.
Maybe actually, I was working on this for the steakhouse for Morgan and I was actually going to have some theme songs for her when we went down to lockdown, we were able to do that. But that was one thing I was actually working on as well. It's one reason I was working on this whole thing in the first place. So I get a little more ice there, sweetheart. It's a little,
You'd have to
ice
have
in
mine.
there in that.
It's
ice.
all gone. I used it all.
How is that possible?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just it's okay. We're all gone of ice. Okay, all right.
I can get you more inside.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, anyway, glad you guys joined us here. We the virtual happy hour again. In case you're just joining us, maybe you're watching us, just stopping by. Going, what in the hell is he doing? Basically, it's started back in late March when we all went into lockdown, and it was one of those deals where I need to kind of keep myself sort of busy in the broadcast mode. And yeah, Mom wants to hear. Wait. I can't wait to hear my song. Yeah,
I know we need to figure out what I'm sexy and 17. Sexy
red,
and 70.
red wine.
There you go. That's good.
Only problem is a lot of these songs, we played them, but Facebook would shut us down because even though I own the copies, they're going to think I don't. They're going to shut me down regardless until I can prove. And I've had that copy of that song about 30 years, but all good. That'd be your song though, Mom. But anyway,
red wine, that's perfect.
Right, it is. But anyway, the reason we're doing this is to kind of keep us all in touch while we're still doing our thing. Day 53 for us, wherever you are, maybe a little longer.
So tomorrow we should have done it on day 54 because that's the best number ever.
No, that's ridiculous.
That's
so ridiculous. But again, to keep us all kind of just in touch, chatting, and really almost 80. Oh, sexy and almost 80. Okay.
Yeah,
very,
I was
very
thinking
good.
sexy and 70. My little rock and roll queen is
Yeah, I don't
17.
know if that's really what you should do. But anyway, my co-host here. But again, it's just really just to keep us all sort of, stop by and say hi. That's what I want you guys to do. So when you see this on Friday, stop by, say hi. You see the link up there, Dictator Waltz started his briefing. I wonder he'll take away your birthday. you're going to be 20 forever,
That's
sir.
really actually, yeah, that could be good. So
Be-
another opportunity,
the
Kevin,
opportunity,
for
Kevin.
you
Look
to
at that
stay
way.
young.
On Friday, I'd love to have somebody join us. Kevin joined us earlier. My mom joined us. Go right there, the guest line, and go in the virtual green room. I'll get you on the show on Friday. Again, it's a chance to chat. It's all we're here for. Just back and forth, come and go, grab you a beverage, chat a bit. We'll talk about whatever. We got a little more sports centric today, but they were more. That's kind of the topic of the day. It was when I was getting ready for, at least for me anyway. But all that. But that's what we're here for. Kind of unite us all in one big happy isolation or semi-isolation family. And hopefully you guys will join us on Friday again.
Kaylin knows.
Again at 5 o'clock
Tomorrow's day
Central
54.
Daylight Time from here on the patio. And with the weather cooperative, trying to be a great day. It's supposed to get crappy tonight overnight and get better again. Here's the forecast. I love Pete Delkus at Channel 8. I think he's great here in Dallas. His forecast starting on Monday was between now and next Sunday, you're going to have about 3.5 inches of rain. I just don't know what days it's going to be, but you're going to get it. And that's kind of the case. We've had spotty rain here, spotty rain there, and a little sprinkling this morning. Sun's out now. So all good. Let's see here. Mom says it's been my Sandy check. Well, that's
good.
I know that says more about your sanity or lack thereof, but all good, Mom.
Don't say that about your mom.
I'm very happy for you, Mom. But anyway, glad you guys are joining us, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Be safe wherever you are. Hug someone you love. There you go. And we will see you guys on Friday, 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And if you are watching us on repeat or whatever later on, hey, join us live.
Or sponsor us. Send us $10,000.
We can do that. Yes, we'll take sponsorship dollars.
There you go.
We take sponsorship dollars. Well, anyway, glad to see you guys. We will close things out with a little ooh-ah. Let's do a little ooh. Ooh, ah, ooh, I swear it's gonna happen. Ooh,
How
about that? One more time, folks.
Ooh, See, another thing that you probably can't say without.
No. It's all good, But appreciate you guys joining us. Kind of with that close sign up. It is that time. Let's put the happy hour sign up first, and then we'll put the close sign up. It is that time. Glad you guys joined us here on the virtual happy hour. We'll see you guys on Friday. Love y'all. Bye, everybody. Let's pull this down. And